ELB.
What up, world? It's your boy Chuck Wick Ill, aka Charles Brown, back again with another What Really Happened, where I talk about shows that I did with artists that we know and love and what actually happened behind the scenes. I want to preference this one. I'm doing this one. This is about Mos Def. Yasin Bey. Y'all know Mos Def, the mighty Mos Def, style fresh like baby breath. That Mos Def. This is one of them stories I've been like thinking about telling this one because it's a lot that happened, and you know people might get in their feelings or whatever, but it's old. This happened in 2011, bro. Like this 10 years ago, right? And you know I'm not even gonna say the names in the venue. If you want to know some of that, go look at my page and dig through the pictures. You'll see what's going on. But I'm not gonna talk about the venue, but I'm just gonna, I'm speaking my truth, man. It is what it is, man. Don't get your feelings hurt. It is what it is. It's all love. I ain't got no issue with none of the parties involved. Still seen them before, seen them after. It's all good, bro. So let's start this off, man. Yasin Bey, my dude Mos Def. I first heard Mos Def on De La Soul. I think, was it De La Soul's album? Yeah, when he was on that De La Soul, he was featured on that De La Soul joint. He had joints out before that, but I really didn't know Mos Def like that. I didn't know, like, if you go back and then you heard him on De La, then you went back and heard, oh, that's the dude that he was out before, but I ain't really wasn't checking for him like that. I heard him on that De La joint. I can't remember which song it was. I don't know if it was The Business or what song it was. What he was on. He was on one of them De La joints. Anyway, I thought dude was one of the nicest dudes I ever heard. I hadn't even seen him yet. And I was like, yo, this dude is nice. This dude gonna be a problem in this business. So time goes on. He brings out, I believe, Black on Both Sides. Classic to me. I used to burn that CD over and over. I used to play that, just vibe out, zone out, and just like, you know how you use music to get your head right and just, you know what I'm saying? I ain't really smoke like that or nothing like that. So I just used music. I wasn't even drinking heavy back then either. This was like, I think Black on Both Sides might have been, was that in the 90s? Late 90s? Maybe? I don't know. Early 2000s. I really don't remember when Black on Both Sides came out, to be honest with you. It could have been 2003 for all I know. I don't remember. But I didn't even put that much thought into it. But that used to be my joint. Miss Fat Booty and all them joints like that. I think that might have been the next, I don't know. But Mos Def got bangers. We got the Talib Kweli joint. You know what I'm saying? Like, just bangers. This dude is solidified dope, heavy in the game, 100% true MC. So, long story short, I am a artist / promoter, and I do shows with artists. Sometimes I get on the bill, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I get the show myself, sometimes I get contracted to show. This Mos Def show, I got contracted this one. So basically, let me rewind. Up in New England, I make a lot of connections with other artists. And other artists, sometimes they are promoters as well. So my man up in, I believe he stay up in Maine. Is it Maine? Am I bugging? It's either Maine or way, way up New Hampshire. Top of New Hampshire. Top of New Hampshire, closer to Maine. Not the bottom of New Hampshire with the other dude. And my dude hit me up one day because he had come down all the way up from there down to Prague to do a show with me. He brought his boys. They was pure hip hop, like pure like 90s. They was like 94, 93 style hip hop, like just pure, like, you know what I'm saying? This is before it was all about money, clothes, and cars. It was just pure, real pure. And they came and they did their thing. They was like a group of like 4 heads, I think it was. And I like dude. I like this vibe. So he hit me up one day. We became, we became cool. So he hit me up and he's like, yo, what's good? I got, because this is what the pure dudes, the pure dudes are more, they're more savvy with it because it's for the love of it. So he reached out some kind of way. I don't know. Matter of fact, I do know. I believe it was something about a family member, fiance, something knew Mos Def's family member or fiance, something like that. And they was kicking it with him. and they was like, yo, would you do a little run, a little, another one of these 2-city, 3-city runs that I get hit with? And most of the time when people think of, all right, I can get this big name artist, they usually say, well, let me hit up Charles, if he can help me or whatever. Which I got a bunch of stories about. The cannabis show came down like that. A bunch of shows come down where somebody else get a call, like the Beanie Siegel. Somebody got Beanie Siegel. My man was at the show at the game, and he bumped into Beanie Siegel and hit him up. Do you want to do a show? Da da da. And then he called me, Charles, can you help me with this Beanie Siegel? It's the same thing. He got a conversation with Mos Def, and it was like, you know, when you're gonna be in town since you're visiting, you want to do a quick show, make some quick bread. Now, what surprised me, Mos Def, you know how I be talking about numbers. Mos Def numbers ain't cheap, bro. And this between me and you. This between me and you. Like, Mos Def numbers ain't cheap at all. Mos Def is one of these backpack pure rappers, but his money's up there. So, I say all that to say this. And I try to do these stories that are 100% fact. Some of the stuff is old and some of your numbers might be off or they might be close. But for the most part, once I get a number in my head, it's stuck there, right? So what had happened was I was told that Mos Def would do 2 cities. He would do the 2 cities. He would do up there where my guy was at, it was either top of New Hampshire. I believe it's the top of New Hampshire. I'm almost 100%. Top of New Hampshire. I keep saying Maine. It could be Maine too. It might be Maine. And then he would do Rhode Island with me. And I believe the cost was going to be 20 grand. Right? Now, anybody that knows anything about Mos Def, they know that that's not his number. It's higher than that. So, what I was told was, keep it on the low, what y'all paying, because this is a family thing. This is some, like, when he was going to come and do the show in Rhode Island, I think that alone was 20, right? They were like, keep it under your hat, because that's not his rate. He's doing that for y'all. That's not his rate. So if you tell anybody what we're paying him, you're going to lose the show. He's going to cancel you. Because we don't want all these other venues coming to him talking about 20 grand, right? Which is absolutely phenomenal. You know, I can get 4, 5, 6 rappers for 20 grand. So God bless him if he getting that. And that's his low ball. That's lowballing you. So he's like, bet, okay. So there's this new venue. And I haven't cracked this venue, right? I haven't cracked this venue because, and I try to be 100%, 100% bucket with y'all. I haven't cracked this venue because people haven't let me crack it. Let's say that. I'm gonna keep it politically correct, and I haven't cracked this venue. It's a couple venues, right? Now I want y'all to know something, right? Y'all, a lot of y'all gonna think, oh, this guy just talking, whatever. But in this game, bruh, people that's eating do not want to see somebody coming up eating. It scares them. It makes them nervous. And their natural instinct is to block you. I don't know why. Rather than get with you, if they see you doing 4, 5 shows a month, grinding, nonstop, you just go. For some reason, they want to stop you. They don't want to work with you. They want to try their best, especially in this is a small town. So for some reason, they got a small town mentality. And their mentality is rather than work, which I've been dealing with it ever since I started doing shows in this city. It's a small town mentality. From the low budget promoter to the big budget venue, they all will try to block you first, right? And you go grind hard in all these miscellaneous places and do all this stuff outside the realm of what they say is accepted. Then after you make all these other places pop, that's what I had to do. I had to make all these spots on the outskirts pop. All these different off-brand cities. I'll drag people out on Tuesday nights to the off-brand cities. You know what I'm saying? Where no one's really going. Then before you look up, 55 rappers is doing my shows and they won't go to the big venues no more. And now, guess who's the man? Me. Now you got to deal with me. Now I'm taking money out your pocket. Now it's, let's see how we can get him in here. And let's act like, let's act like we cool with him. But when the whole time you was waiting for this guy to fail, right? But I don't fail. That's just not something I do. So, end of the day, I went hard. Finally got the attention of this place. This place, actually, I was grinding before this place even really got off the ground. They opened this big, fancy, spectacular venue. I'm hearing through the grapevine, cost $1 million or more to put this venue together. Boom, get bet. So, I'm trying for months and months and months. I can't get in. I can't get in. I can't get in. I can't get in. No one will let me in. Blah, 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 blah. Right? For one reason or another. And I'll even ask people like, yo, why I never got in? And they be like, it just never, timing wasn't right, my brother, this and that, blah, blah, blah. So whatever. So I get this call for Mos Def. Mind you, I'm trying to do a little spot stuff with other people who in this venue. So I'm trying to connect and little stuff is going on. So I'm like, all right, I'll take Mos Def and I'll see if I can get him to this venue, right? I finally get this name. I'm like, okay, so I make a call to somebody else and they make a call. So it's like, oh, you got this guy? So I'm like, I got Mos Def. I want to bring him to this venue, right? So it goes, all right, let's have a meeting, yada, yada, yada. And I'm going to be $100. It was always like, I never could get this meeting. You know what I'm saying? So now that I got this name, I got this meeting. That's how it goes sometimes. It is what it is. So now I got this name, I got this meeting, and we're talking about Mos Def. And it's like, oh, yeah, so you got Mos Def, huh? Yeah, that's a big show. That's a big show. Yeah, it is. Let's do it. Let's make it work. I can get this and do that, da-da-da-da. So what I say in the meeting is this. I say, this is the price we got quoted, but this is not his booking price. And as a matter of fact, we're not really supposed to be booking this because it's not going through his agent, just going directly to him. So we're getting this price because it's a direct quote. We're not supposed to tell this to the agent, or we're not supposed to hit up Mos Def and say anything about this rate, or they're going to lose the show. You cannot call and get this rate. And what you got to learn as a promoter and as an artist, this game is shady. And I almost never, ever have seen a instance where the venue itself, not just this venue, many venues will try to steal that artist from you. It is a fact. I've heard mad stories of guys having an artist book and the venue will come in, swoop in and pay the artist directly, cut you right out the deal. They're like, why would I give you, why would we need you when we can do this ourselves? It is a fact. A couple promoters here have had artists swooped up on them from big time venues that have taken the artist and did the show themselves. That has happened many times. And I was warned about that. Like, yo, be careful with these venues. If you name the artist, they'll hit the artist up directly, make a better deal, and take the show from you. And I was like, it is what it is. You can't take this show because, simple fact, this is plugged in at a special rate, and this guy knows them, some kind of family, whatever, right? So you got all that. Follow me. So what happens is I say, don't hit him up for this rate, blah, 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 blah. Don't call his agent, blah, blah. Yeah, bet. We set up a time and date, da-da-da. We're going to do it. I will have you guys know that I get a call. I don't know if it's 2 days later or whatever, from my man up there saying we lost the show. And I'm like, why? And he's like, did you tell them what the rate was? And I said, yeah, I told him that's the venue. I told him what the rate was. Because they wanted to know. They need to know this is a real show. He's like, well, someone at that venue called Mos Def or his people or one or the other. Someone at that venue called to verify that quote. And they canceled our shows. Both shows. I mean, just on site. Just when they called them to say, y'all giving them this? Y'all really doing it for this rate? He canceled the shows. So I called the venue and I'm like, did anyone contact y'all? And they like, nah, we ain't called nobody. So the venue's telling me no one called him. But he's telling me someone that wouldn't really give their name called to ask could they book Mos Def for this price. And then when they said you can't, they were like, well, I know that he's already doing the show for that price. So it killed the show, right? I don't know who did it. And when I asked the venue, they said they didn't do it, right? Now, only me, the guy in the venue knew what was going on. You understand what I'm telling you? So I don't know who did what, but all I know is my show got gated for that simple fact, right? I lost a major event. That ain't the first major event I lost, ain't the last. But, boom. Fast forward. We had that show, I did couple little things down there with them. And none of it really was my nights like that. Like, I did little stuff here and there on other people's stuff, but I never was in. And I just don't play the game well, because what people want you to do, and not just them, every venue, if you ever want to really be plugged in, you got to play a game that I really don't want to play, which is come down to venue all the time, even when you're not doing something, kick it with them, drink, smoke, hang out after hours, kick it, drink, smoke, laugh, tell all your business, just kick it, like build personal relationships. That's everywhere, right? I'm a grown man with 3 kids. I can't be kicking it in nightclubs at 3:30 at night, still trying to get another shot, hanging out just to build a relationship. I've seen dudes get in venues that I was the man at. They'll come do my show, then get in good, find the owner, get in good with him, kick him, play the game up in there 3:30 at night, shooting drinks and this and that, smoking whatever, and they'll leapfrog me because they built a relationship, which it is what it is. But I'm business, bro. I'm business. We can be cool when I'm down there doing business. I got to go home. My kids got to get up in the morning. I can't be here 4 o'clock staggering out drunk. I can't play that game. We're playing business, then we playing business. If we playing frenzies, then I'm out. So I can't play frenzies with this series, with this business. And that's where I fell short with. I would have doubled my worth had I been playing a lot of the frenzies game and let me kick it with. I just don't have the time. I just don't have the time to do that, and I don't want to, because when you get too personal, people all in your business, that's when rumors start flying about you. Can't nobody really tell rumors about me because I wasn't there. You can't make up a story about my wife. You can't make up a story about me. I wasn't there. So that's when you get dragged into all kind of somebody want to fight and this and that because you're hanging at the spot way longer than you need to be. We close at 2. All right, I need to get my money. Thank you. I'm out. Peace. Dap you up. I'll hang out for a little bit. Yeah, give me one beer if you want to give me on the way out. But I got to dip. I can't sit here for 3 hours. Which is what they do. They lock the doors and everybody's drinking, which is whatever. I can't play that game. So it took me a lot of fucking time to get where I needed to be with these venues. And I say all that to say this. This moment rolled around again. Somehow, some way. I want to say it could have been even maybe a year later, like 6 months to a year later. They booked Mos Def themselves for whatever rate he was offered. They booked him, right? And someone, I don't know what it was, but someone decided to get me to help promote the show. And one of the things I used to do, and I say it on every video, is I used to do a open up for me contest. So they wanted me to hit me up, yo, bro, we can, because my ideas are, no one was doing what I was doing. No one was doing a open up. I was doing 3 open up contests in a row before the show. So that right there, you're doing 3 open up contests. I already know all the rappers, all the artists. So all I got to do is send a couple posts out and all the artists going to come to my thing. If you're not plugged in like that, you're not going to be able to do that. So in a way, they had to get me. So they got me to do these open up for Mos Def. I did an open up for Mos Def contest. And I think I did more than one, but I know for a fact I did at least one. And I got my peoples in it, blah, 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 blah. And, it turned out kind of crazy because when I get down there, it's like, it's just kind of off, and everything ain't working. And a fight broke out, and just like all kind of little nonsense that shouldn't be going on when you got an opportunity this big to open up for Mos Def. You shouldn't be having all these problems. But these my dudes, so they apologized, and things went down or whatever. We still went and had the Mos Def show lined up. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm gonna make a long story short. So this is the makeup show from the show that I got canceled, that I lost in the first place. Now I'm not getting this money. I'm not getting all this money that was gonna come with my own event. Now I'm a paid promoter for a couple $100. You understand? I got whatever money from opening up the show, from open up Mos Def, got a couple $100 from that. And then I got a couple $100 to help promo the event, right? Now you're talking, I just went from a major payday to now I'm just a side band. I'm a man on the side, just on some, I'm part of the whole the cog in the wheel. It ain't my show no. My name's on the flyer. I'm part of the promo because I'm a promoter, but I'm not getting paid. I'm not getting a cut of the door. I'm not getting any residuals. You know what I'm saying? But I said, you know what? Because I wasn't even going. I was thinking about not even getting involved. But I was like, you know what? What I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and do this show, if for nothing else but brand recognition, branding myself, getting my name out there, just for being involved with the show, even though I look like a middleman at this point, right? So boom, we do the opening up for shows. They vote, people get selected, yada yada yada. All the people come out, the usuals, blah blah blah. Fast forward to the night of the show. Mind you, this show was in my opinion, this show I was frozen out and it was stolen from me. But I'm there, I'm going down. They're like, get there early, blah 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 blah. It's not my show though. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to be there at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, 6 o'clock, to be there till midnight, 12, 1 o'clock. I'm not trying to do that. That's not in the cards. So with that being said, I get down there closer to the time where it's going to kick off, right? They're like, get down there early so you can get whatever VIPs or whatever. But I'm like this. If we're partners in this, if I'm part of this show, my name's on the thing, I should be able to get there. I'm not the host. I'm not hosting. I should be able to get there. I shouldn't need to stand around for 4 or 5 hours when you know that I'm coming. I'm not rapping. I'm not doing anything. I don't need to get there early. So I don't get there early. I get there around the time you're figuring it's going to start, people going to start coming. So I get there, my name's not on the guest list. So now I did all this stuff. I did these shows and I got openers on it, everything. My name's not on the guest list. I got to stand around and wait for somebody to come and get me in there. Okay, it happens. It is what it is. I get in there. Come to find out, it's too late to get into the VIP area where Mos Def and everybody else is going to be, right? This is a fact. I watched the Mos Def show from the crowd, like everyone else. Me and my wife was at the show. We couldn't get, we can't get nobody else back here. I'm not accustomed to that. It wasn't that it was just, we're not going to be doing, it's just we're not doing it. It wasn't that it's too packed or whatever. It's just we're not. We got it. All the people we want, we cutting it off. And I watched the Mos Def show from the crowd. So to recap, Mos Def, I never met him, never got a picture with him, never got on the stage that he was on, never left the venue floor, and never got credited for what I did for this show. My openers were on stage. The people that I promoted to and bought tickets because of the show was in the crowd. I put bodies in this place. And I was just an average dude in the crowd, right? And it is what it is. We don't cry, buddy. We just keep it moving, and we know better the next time. We learn, we adapt, and we grow. You know what I'm saying? And what I've learned is when people show you who they are from the beginning, believe them, right? So if you recap this entire story, it never, from the beginning to the end, never ever was a fair, you know what I'm saying? From the beginning to the end. And it ain't nobody's fault. It's just certain things don't click and certain people don't always work out. Now, if you tune into this video to hear about how Mos Def rocked it or whatever, no. This ain't that kind of video. I never saw Mos Def. I never saw Mos Def. And I only watched half the show. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, I'm about to just dip. I was there for like 2.5 hours anyway. He went on late. He was like an hour late. So it was just the whole thing. So if you watch this to hear about Mos Def, no, this was about another promoter story about the game. And Mos Def just happened to be one of the pieces of the game. All right? So in hindsight, when you are a promoter or any type of cog in the wheel in this industry, you're going to have points where you feel like you got burned. That don't mean you quit or the other side don't look at it the same way you look at it. All I know is what happened when I did my part. So that's how I went for Mos Def, and it's a learning lesson. I learned that these big venues, they don't always play fair, and you got to take your lumps and eat it. I wasn't on the crowd about. I did shows for years after that, bigger spots, bigger venues, bigger artists. So it never like made me want to boo-hoo, because that's when you lost. When you sit around boo-hooing, you pretty much lost. You need to quit anyway. So my name is Chuck Wick, man. I appreciate y'all. Hit the like button, subscribe. That's exactly what my version of the Mos Def story was. Put your shit in the comments if you got something to say. I'm going to catch you on the flip side. Follow your boy. Hit me up. If you got any shows that you know I did and you want me to talk about them, hit me up. Put it in the comments, man. I'm going to catch you on the flip side. Peace.